to the end of this module, and this is part B of plotting and output in MATLAB. In today's lecture, we will cover how to use plot command for plotting some variables, some strings, and some row vectors. First of all, let me take you to the PPT. This is plotting, that the topic we will cover today. We will cover example of ball thrown which we have done previous lectures. Plot location versus time. We will cover labeling the axis, then other plotting methods, plotting multiple lines, and plot and log plot. Okay, so let's do this. First, let me clear the all variables. Okay, so first of all, we will introduce you to a new command called plot. Plot is basically used for plotting some row vectors, plotting some matrices. For more help, you can just type command help space plot and then enter. It will take you a dictionary or the library of this MATLAB. So where you can see the various type of plotting commands. As you can see at here, it is the plot tools, plot log, semi log, which is not concerned. So what is a plot actually? As you can see, plot x comma y plots vector y versus vector x. If x or y is a matrix, then the vector is plotted versus the rows or versus the columns of the matrix, whichever line up. So plot x del comma y, which basically means it will plot y as a function of x. And there is a one very important thing which you have to know. It is always plot a vector. So plots y vector versus vector f. So what we need to get, we need some vectors to plot some variables. Okay, let me clear the screen and let's go to some examples which I have done in previous lecture called ball vertical. And let's plot the it was the example for ball which was thrown vertical. So let's plot the plot a graph of this given example. So at here we have to define vectors, which was location vector and time vector. Let's define time vector first. Time is equal to 0 and location is equal to 0. So at here we just define what is time vector and what is location vector. So let's get to the while loop and start the execution of time and location vectors. So what would be time is equal to vector. We will always use square bracket for assigning a vector values. So at here we will define time semicolon t and location is equal to location semicolon y. And simply put a plot command for plotting the variables or the desirable strings. Let's plot time and location Okay, so this command would give me a graph, basically a graph between time and location. And this is command for execution of location in the catalog. Characterizing that every element. Sorry, we have done a major mistake. We had done a major mistake. Location is equals to location is equals to location y. So let's save this file and execute. What result will we get? So as you can see, this is the kind of figure which we get in the form of a graph, and these are the values, desirable values, which we have got in the previous lecture. So as you can see, the axis of this plot has not labeled right now because we didn't label it. So let's try to label this axis and this axis. For labeling the axis, we will use the label command. So let's label the x-axis first. X label. What we're going to label the x is basically time. So dash, we will use dash for defining time in x. That's time, which is in second, and just close it. So it will label the x-axis with the time, and let label the y-axis with location. Label dash location. Location is in meter. So let's enter and just see our graph has just written something or not. So as you can see at here, the y-axis has assigned a, 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 a location at here, and it assigned a time at here. We can we can just increase the size of these fonts and the the way of the way it is written. For that, to change the size of this plots and this location and time, we simply put the cursor button at here, which is edit plot. Click on this and just simply click on location, right click, go to the font, and just increase the font as your desirable choice. I will put at here 80. So as you can see, the location has got increased by font. Simply we can do it with time, font 80, and time also got increased. We can also do it with axis also. Put it 18. So as you can see, we just got a new graph actually at here, and we can also do it with the line also. As you can see at here, we are getting dotted. We just get right click, line style. We can choose line style as our desirable choice, like we can use dash dot, and none. Let's try dash. So what would happen at dash? It just give a simply dash line over it here. Let's choose this again, and we use a line width also. Let's say 1.0. It chooses a line width. Marker, we have marker, so plus 0, multiply, dot, square, diamond. Markers is very, as you can see, these are some markers. These are the square marks at here. You can see we can change this also. For this, simply click marker on and just choose whatever you want. I will prefer let's say X. So it will got X at every point where the location and time was got edited. So let's change it. Let's change the marker over 0 and the line style with solid. So this kind of graph we can edit graph of this actual. So this is a kind of graph which we can get with ball vertical. This is the graph of ball vertical which we have done in earlier lectures. Let me clear the screen. So there's a question raised at here. Can we plot a matrix or can we plot some functions at here? So yes, the answer is yes, we can. Let's us plot the let us plot some new functions. Let's simply plot. Let us first define the what we have to do with the sine. Let us plot the sine and cos graphs. Let's just simply giving it to a range. X is equals to, it is a kind of web row vector basically, 0 colon 0 0.1 colon 5. Sorry, my mistake. Let's define it again. X is equals to 0 semicolon 0 0.1 semicolon 5. This, okay? And now let us plot a graph between sin x and cos x. The plot, simply give a plot command, semicircle x comma sine of x comma x comma cos of x. Let's enter. And as you can see, this kind of graph we will get the sin x and the cos x. The first thing is sin x and second is cos x. So this blue line you can see it is a graph of sine and the blue line is a graph of cos. Let's change the color of this graph, okay? So how can we change the sin x and the cos x graphs? So let's simply put again it here right before sin x. We will simply plot let's say dash dash green line over here and dash dash dot let's say blue line at here. So what this command would give me, it plots the sin x graph with the dash dash green color and it will plot the cos x graph with dash dot blue color. Let's say it is worked or not. Let's go to our plot. So as you can see, it creates the green dash dash green line with the graph of sin x and the cos x graph is dash dot g. So this is the kind of graph which we'll actually get. Minimize the graph. And let's see, can we actually plot a matrix with it? So let's define a matrix with y. Y is equals to matrix. Let's call sine of x semicolon cos of x. And let's define its size. I want to know size of y. Sorry, it's my mistake. Size of y. So as you can see over here, we get the size of these two functions at one row and two columns, which it should not probably. Let's plot the x and y, which is simply plot x comma y. X is basically sine x, x sine x, cos x, and y is equals to x cos x. So we get the error. The error was vector must be the same length. Okay, so first we have to some error right here. The vector should be in the same length. What we have done, the error is we did not get the same length vectors. For this we have to clear all. Let's do this again and CLC. Let's try to define x is equals to 0 semicolon 0.1 semicolon 5 over here. And plot x comma sine of x comma dash, let's dash green line comma x comma cos x comma dash dot blue line our figure got edited at here. Let's define y again. Y is equals to sine of x semicolon. So it was the error which we have done earlier. It was not colon, it is semicolon. Semicolon cos of x. Okay, and put a semicolon at the end. Now define the size of y. The size of y, we will get two row vectors and 51 column. So two row vectors is basically sine x and cos x. Let's try to plot a graph of x and y, which is basically x sine x and x cos x. Plot the graph between x comma y. Let's say at here the graph got it's it, it is a line of sine cos x, and it is line of sine x at here. And let's try to plot x comma sine x plus cos x. Let's try to plot this graph at here. Can we put? So this is a graph of x sine x plus cos x. And what would happen if I plot two or more graphs in a single graph? Okay, what would happen at here? So simply plot x comma y and then enter. What would happen at here? The plots got disappear. Okay, so the plot of x sine x plus cos x got overwritten by plot sine x, and the plot got just don't disappeared, it just got overlapped in this sine x graph. So for visibility we will use another plotting command called hold on. So hold space on, enter it, and now again plot x comma sine of x plus cos of x, enter. So as you can see, the this red line is the graph of sine x. The red line was the graph of cos x. The blue one line is the blue one was the line of cos x. The red one was the line of sine x, and the yellow was the line of sine x plus cos x. So let's define it with comma dash dash. Let's be in yellow. It will give me basically the dash line of that. Okay, so as you can see, the dash line got edited at here, which is basically mean it is the graph of sine x plus cos x. So this is the major coverage area at here, which we have to how to use the plot command and how we plot the graphs of that particular function or that particular matrix and particular strings. Okay, so coming to our now, we have done the example of both on vertical upward. We had done the plot location versus time. We got labeling the axis and got other plotting options, which was the hold on plotting option. So we had plot the multiple lines, which is like that. We had drawn the multiple lines, and there is a new plot functions called log plot. So how to use a log plot? Let's see. Let me clear the screen. Clear the variable also. Okay, so for this let's try to help. In the C also you can just see there's a lots of plotting options we have got. The first is plot 2, semi log x, semi log y, log plot y. We have to um, gain some knowledge about log plot, which because we have to do some work with over it. So let's say what is log plot? Log scale plot. Log is the same as plot, except the logarithmic scales are used for both x and y axis. Okay, so let's try to plot a log plot called log and x comma y. So log is not mm, uh, there is not x and y, it is sine x and cos y. We get an undefined variable of x. Okay, let us let us just we got deleted the variables from workspace, so we got this error, that is the unrecognized function or variable of x. Let's try to do this again. Let's x is equals to, try to put 0 colon 0 0.1 colon 5 over here, and y is equals to sine of x and cos of x. Okay, now put a log command over here, x comma y, and here we just got allotted a plot. So this is a plot of sine x and cos x. The what's the funniest thing we see it here? The negative data was ignored by the logarithm graph. Okay, so it is only gain the positive sides of sine x and cos x, and the negative data got ignored, just got it ignored. So we have just the positive values of sine x and cos x at here. So this is a kind of introduction of log, and at help of plot you can use several kind of other commands of plotting options also. So now this we have just got work with log plot also, and from now this it is the end of module 1. Thank you very much for joining us, and tomorrow we will start the module 2, which is the error in computation, numerical computation. See you at there. Bye bye.